This is my Moroccan ID. I need this to live in Morocco. And I love having an ID here. But I do not want to have an ID in the United Kingdom. So why am I happy to have one in Morocco, but not the UK? Well, there are two reasons. First of all, what this actually is. It is just a piece of plastic. It has my name on it. It has a photograph of me. It has a number. That's my identity number, my date of birth. And on the back, it has my address. So yes, it has a lot of information, but it is just a plastic card. And I am sure if you ran this through a computer, more information would come up. I use this to get in and out of the country, and it makes my life a lot easier to do that. It lasts me 5 years. It takes a bit of time and effort and paperwork to get one of these, but believe me, if you live in Morocco, you want one of these. I use this to have any dealing with the local government or the national government. I can use this to withdraw money and deposit money into a bank, so I don't need my bank card. And any policeman at any time can stop and ask me for the ID. In the 11 plus years, nearly 12 years that I've lived in Morocco, I have been asked for this ID by the police once. That was because I was filming a video outside the Parliament building in Rabat, and a policeman came up to me, asked me what I was doing, told him I was just making a video for my YouTube channel, and he said to me, you can't film the Parliament building. So I stopped. He asked for my ID, which I didn't have, and by law you have to carry your ID. So technically I was breaking the law in Morocco, but the guy was fine. The policeman was fine. He said to me, you got to stop, you got to go. And he didn't ask to see the video. He didn't ask for me to delete the video. Very kind, very friendly, very respectful, just said, stop, you've got to go. So of course I did. I can't imagine that being the case in the UK. Once in nearly 12 years being asked for my ID. I think everybody who has had any experience of living in the UK would know you are going to be asked for your ID. I don't know how many times every week. Everybody who wears a high-vis jacket and a cap is going to ask you for your ID. If you go into a nightclub, if you come out of a supermarket, security, just everybody who has a gram of power will demand to see your ID. Here in Morocco, no, it just doesn't happen. They don't have the culture that they have in the United Kingdom. You know, one of the things that's happening right now in the UK is they're talking a lot about British culture and how it's different from immigrants coming into the UK. As somebody who hasn't lived in the UK for over a decade, but I go back regularly, I can tell you that I see British culture from a very fresh perspective. And one aspect of British culture that you cannot deny is people take their frustration and their anger and their irritation out on the person who has that little bit less authority than you do. No one in the UK, it is part of British culture to never, ever complain up the ladder. Okay, you know, we might protest, but in order to protest, you have to get police approval. They tell you what route you can take. They can tell you how many people. They can tell you when it must end. There's so many other restrictions that the police can place on your protest. So even a protest in the UK is evidence of obeying. If we have ID cards, we all know that that is just going to feed into this British culture of imposing authority on the person with just a little bit less power than we have. So everybody's going to demand to see your ID. Everybody. And you're going to feel intimidated and obliged to show your ID. It will be just another element that allows these power-crazed, petty officials to get a bigger kick out of exerting their power on somebody just slightly further down the ladder than they are. Here in Morocco, no one cares to ask for your ID. Not even the police, once every 12 years. So British culture does not lend itself to ID. And the fact that they want to make it digital is just going to make it even worse, because there is no control over how much information that person can readily access. If you are going to introduce ID in the United Kingdom, make it a piece of plastic. Just your name, your date of birth, a photograph, and why not your national insurance number? Everybody in the United Kingdom is given a national insurance number when they're about 14, 15, and it lasts them for the rest of their life. Have a piece of plastic with your name, date of birth, ID, photograph, that's it. Nothing more. It doesn't need to be anything else, because then if you are a migrant and you are, you're wanting to work, then you have to show this piece of plastic. That's all it needs to be. But even then, British culture will just abuse that element of power. British people cannot be trusted with power, because all they do is exert it on the wrong direction. It just points downwards. Every British person just uses their power on the person below them, and never on the person above. So yes, ID in Morocco, because Moroccan culture works with ID. No ID in the UK, because British culture absolutely does not deserve ID.